Yeah, well, we just want to, really thank you guys. We would not be where we're at without Cheney Community Church. All the prayer and support and just the friendship and love that we've experienced here at this church the past, I think I've been here for, 7 years, Amy for 9. It's awesome. But, I just want to share a short little devotion type thing, and then we'll share about Lesotho, and then hopefully some encouragement here at the end. But you can, I don't know if there's a clicker, but you can go ahead. So, oh nice, it's big enough to read from me back here. So this is Ephesians 2:10. This is just kind of what I want to focus on, and hopefully it ties together with some of the things that Trevor said, but it says, "For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God has prepared beforehand that we should walk in them." So we just want to share a little bit about the good works that God has prepared beforehand for us, how we've been trying to walk in them, how we're going to try to walk in them in the future, and then just encourage you guys with a thought at the end. But one thing I want us to kind of focus on or ruminate on as we're talking is, why does he do this? Why does he lay out these good works for us? Does he need us? Does he just want us to have something to do before he comes back, or what? But Amy's going to share a little bit about our history here at Cheney and some of the steps we've taken so far, and then I can share about our steps in the future. If that works. We didn't do so much preparing because we were packing, but
secrets out. So I grew up in Seattle, just south of there in Federal Way, and came to Spokane in the fall of 2013 to go to Moody Bible Institute that was meeting in Spokane at the time at Fourth Memorial Church. And I came to this church in March of 2014. So next month will be my official 9-year anniversary. And that was because I was doing short-term mission trips through Youth Missions International. And one of the guys on the board of that organization got connected with the missions committee here. And he asked me to come with him to talk to the middle school and high school Awana and youth group students about missions and short term. So I came on a Wednesday in early March and met Jason, was the youth pastor at the time, saw the Awana program and the youth group, and just really felt like this is a place that I want to be. But I had no car and I was living in Spokane. So I called my parents and I was like, hey, I found this great church, but I don't have anywhere to get there. Like, what do I do? Do I try to figure out the bus system? Which was terrifying to me. And then my parents said, well, actually, we bought you a car yesterday and we were going to surprise you and come this next weekend and bring it for you. So the next Sunday, I was here with my parents and they came to the first service with me and loved it too and said, no, we really feel like this is where the Lord has you. So here's the car, take good care of it, and now you have to call us every week as payment back. So it was a win-win for everyone. And I really like this church because there were no other college students. But then helping with Awana, there was just a great need. And so I started as a youth group leader right away. The next school year came in as an Awana leader and started bringing more Moody students with me. And my junior year was Luke's freshman year. So was that 2015? So I brought him and the other guys in my house and his house. We came and helped with Awana. The youth group had kind of gone through different phases and then fizzled out a little bit. The youth group had kind of fizzled out a bit. And Luke's second semester, I walked into his house. We lived just across the alley from each other. And Luke came in after studying and teaching the Bible class, and he said, Amy, we need to restart the youth group. We can do this. We're not going to be the best at it, but we're the best they've got right now. And we just love the kids. We knew a lot of the kids from Awana. So along with some other Moody students, we restarted what is now Holy Flame and have been involved in that up until just a few months ago. But through that time, even serving on the missions committee, I got to do that for a while, and I remember my first week joining a meeting, Ed and Mary Lou came up to me and said, it's been our church's dream to send out a young missionary family someday. And they winked and kind of nudged me, and I was like, missions, yes. Husband and kids, I'm not so sure about. But the Lord answered all of those prayers in time, and it's just so amazing to see full circle how the Lord answered prayer after prayer and journey after journey. circumstance after circumstance, and now we get to stand before you with our 2 kids, just only one that you can see. And then through time, Luke and I started dating after serving together, and that was a huge answer to my prayer, and he's helped with worship team, and I don't know what else. Who even knows? But just through time, preaching, little things here and there. But the Lord has just been so faithful through Cheney Community Church to raise us up, to have godly mentors and people to come alongside us and correct us and teach us and encourage us every step of the way and hold our baby when she tries to climb up on the stage and all of these things. So we just want to say from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for being our family and for being our support and for being the ones to send us out. And this is not the end of the relationship. This is not the end of our family. This is just us graduating and going to college. I don't know. But we'll be back pretty regularly, and we're still connected through Microsoft Teams. We can video call you guys occasionally, and stay connected because this is our family.
Nice. Well, I'll save the rest of Amy's voice. So we did all of those awesome things, and the Lord really walked us through that. And now we're on to kind of the next step. So we're joining, we have joined, we got the polos to prove it. We're part of Mission Aviation Fellowship, which for those of you who don't know, it's an aviation mission who focuses on reaching isolated people groups. So our goal is to reach the unreached people, the hard to reach people with the gospel, and to bring help, hope, and healing is their tagline, but to see lives changed by the love of Christ is really what we're all about. And we just happen to be able to use aviation as that tool, either to get into a country or to get into parts of a country that otherwise would be really hard to get to. So you can go ahead. I got the slides are the only thing keeping me on track, so nice. This is Lesotho. I don't know where you found that picture. That was awesome too. Nice. But yeah, Lesotho, it is a beautiful country. It's one of the very few programs that MEF will send us to that actually has snow, and it's not 100 degrees and humid all the time like Colin likes, but we're more of the temperate weather sort of people. So selfishly, we're pretty excited to go to this country for the weather, but it's very mountainous. 90% of the country is over 1 mile in elevation, so there's not really any open areas, low areas. It actually has the highest low point of any country in the world, if you work that out. So the lowest point in this country is 4,600 feet above sea level. So we'd still be about 2,000, 2,400 feet below the earth here in Cheney, if I got that right. Colin can correct me. I'll just keep looking at Colin. Nice. So there's two main ministries that we support here in Lesotho that we'll be a part of applying for and supporting. We were invited into the country in 1980, actually by the government, which is unique for a mission agency to be invited in by the government. So we have a great relationship with them, so there's not a lot of risk of them, canceling our visas and kicking us out of the country, because they really want us there and they need us there. So we were invited in to start this air ambulance program. It's called the Lesotho Flying Pastors. I'll get ahead of myself, sorry. The Lesotho Flying Doctors. The names are very so I'm just going to share a little bit about you guys. I don't know where Leona went. There she is. So Leona is our first child, obviously, and when we were doing the checkups and stuff with her, we had one of our ultrasounds. I don't know if we've shared this story before, but we saw her for the first time, and then the ultrasound tech was like, "Oh, that's interesting," and that's very encouraging for young parents to hear. But basically, it's not a big deal, but there was just a high chance that she would end up being breached or not like a normal head-down baby and come out nice and smooth. So it really didn't affect us that much. We just ended up having the privilege of scheduling Leona's birthday. She was a planned C-section, so we just kind of did it. It's very routine. We went in, and then half an hour later, we had this baby. But I just don't want to share our personal medical history with you. I just want you guys to imagine, you saw those pictures of the rugged mountains and those villages up in the mountains. They don't have ultrasound machines and they don't have easy ways to catch those sorts of things. So you can imagine, if Amy and I were local people to Lesotho, never having that ultrasound. We come to the end of Amy's term, And then suddenly this problem presents itself, and there's no way that this baby's coming out. And it's very dangerous for the mother and everything. So then the only thing that is going to save us from a tragedy, really, is this little red and blue and white airplane that is able to fly out into this village, pick up this mother in distress, and fly her to a clinic where they have the ability to give birth to this baby safely. And that's what we do. A lot of our flights are for moms or new moms or moms that are in active labor. There's one guy at the program who has the record for babies born in the back of his airplane. So you take off with 3 passengers and you land with 4. I don't know if you have like a catcher's mitt or what, but there's a nurse on the plane, so it's okay. But yeah, that's a huge part of our ministry. Lesotho has one of the highest maternal and infant mortality rates in the world, so that's just a huge part of our mission, is to try to change the ending of some of those stories. And right now that's about 60% of the flights, and the other 40% is kind of a growing ministry. This is what I was misspoke earlier. This is the Lesotho Flying Pastors. So this is a newer program, kind of been revamped in the last 5 years, and it's super exciting. So like Trevor said, we're kind of in the service role, because we obviously are not going to be able to speak the language, know the culture as well as people that grew up in Lesotho, but we are able to fly them into these remote areas. So this is a pastoral couple. The Lesotho Flying Pastors is just a group of local pastors from 5 or 6 different denominations that has a heart for these isolated people within their own country. So they're mostly based out of the capital, which is large and western and easy to get into South Africa and stuff. But then we fly them out into these villages that might take 2 or 3 days to hike and ride a horse and an ATV and everything to get up and down those valleys to this village, where we could fly them out there in 30 minutes. And they can make disciples, they can plant churches. This church is just finished. I think I shared about it one of the times we were up here, but this is a church that's been built by the people in the village with materials flown out by MAF, and this pastoral couple now lives in the mountains full time. And they're seeing people come to Christ. They're seeing people not only add Jesus into their life with the rest of their animistic beliefs and worshiping ancestors and the spirits and everything, but fully selling out for Christ, which basically, if you don't have the community out there in the mountains, it's a death sentence. To fully sell out to Christ, you're kind of excommunicated by the village. So they are experiencing a lot of persecution, and people who really want to be on fire for Jesus and not just mix him into the rest of their cultural religion, they're experiencing some hard times. So we're able to support them in that as well, flying out food and medicine to these clinics. But I'm just going to ramble. But this is it's a super exciting ministry. This is one of the main reasons we wanted to go to Lesotho. It felt like very grassroots missions where the church is being built literally and disciples are being made. And we're just passionate about being a part of that and helping these guys. Nice. So I said we were going to kind of ruminate on this verse a little bit, and why does God lay out these good works for us? Is it busy work? Does he really need us? And I want to encourage you guys with this thought that might not sound encouraging, but I think it is, and it's that God doesn't need you. God doesn't need us. He doesn't need Luke and Amy to go to Lesotho in order to build his church there, right? He doesn't need any of us to accomplish his plans, but he invites us to be co-workers with Christ. He lays out these good things for us to walk in faithfully in order that we could become more like Christ. We're just trying to model our life off of Christ and become more and more like Jesus. That's our goal. And it's really an act of grace and an act of love that God would lay out these good works for us, and we're just trying to walk in them faithfully. But the other thing, other encouragement I want to give you, like Trevor said, this is not just a special thing that God doesn't call people and lay out these step-by-step, good works for you to walk in. That's not just for, Cameron Townsend or William Carey or D.L. Moody, all these guys that did great things, big things, or at least things that we can see really easily for Christ. This is for every believer. It's not just for missionaries that he lays out this path for you. It's for everyone who's been created in Christ Jesus. So if you put your faith in Christ, he has a good plan and a unique plan for your life. And our call is not special. Our path that we're walking on is not special. It might be unique, as in not that many Christians go and do this, but it's not special. And each and every one of us have this call, and it's different for each and every one of us. So I just want to encourage you that just because you're here and we're there, there's no difference in the fact that God has planned out each step of your life, and He's laid out good works in order that you can walk in them faithfully and become more and more like His Son. So hopefully that is encouraging. Hopefully that makes sense. But that's all I got. But we're just so, I might say something else, but we're really thankful for you guys.
And before we get all of the questions, this is what our next few months are going to look like. We leave Spokane on Tuesday, Lord willing, weather permitting. We'll be driving down to Nampa, Idaho, right next to Boise. That's where MAF headquarters is. They have apartments on campus, so we will be moving into an apartment that's about the same size as the house we're moving out of. And we will be there for about 6 months. So Luke is going through something known as standardization training. So that just means that he'll get back in the plane, flying, and learning exactly what MAF protocols and checklists are, and just getting up to the specific MAF standard for flight. And then also doing that for the maintenance side. So that'll take about 8 to 10 weeks. And then we have a 2-week orientation that's just final. This is what we want you to know and have at the forefront of your mind right before you move cross-culturally, just to kind of mentally, emotionally prepare for that. There's even a friends and family weekend. So we get to have Pastor Trevor over there, the pastor from Luke's home church, our parents, and some siblings. And that's just a weekend for them to kind of have a final goodbye and also to receive specific training on how to best support us when we're on different continents. So MAF packs a lot into that. We have decided to extend our stay just a little bit longer because very shortly after that friends and family weekend, I'm due with our son. So we will have our son in Nampa and stay in the apartments through those kind of newborn weeks. And then as soon as we can get him a passport and get all of the paperwork ready, and our team in Lesotho is ready to receive us, then we'll fly from Boise to Lesotho, most likely sometime in early August. That's not an official timeline. Obviously, so many things can change that, so we do ask for your prayer. As all of these new things are coming up, it's been interesting packing. We've packed our crates to be shipped to Lesotho ahead of us, but then we're also packing separately for 6 months in Idaho, having a newborn, and then whatever we take in Idaho will have to go on the plane with us. So it's been a little tricky, and I've been a little stressed out, but God is so good, and He provides in all of the ways. So we do appreciate your prayers and all that. That's kind of what the next 6 months look like until we actually land in Lesotho.
Nice. And just the last things, we really want to stay connected with everybody here in Cheney and all our friends and family here in the States. So the easiest way to do that, there's prayer cards. I think I saw some out on that little welcome table. Or for those of you taking notes, the best way to sign up for our prayer letters, review our past newsletters, sign up to be financial partners is online. If you want to write it down, it's pretty easy. It's maf.org/L.Nelson. If you do just Nelson, you'll find another great missionary couple, but if you want to get to us, you put the L in there. But on that page, there'll be a little bit about us, a little bit about Lesotho. At the bottom, you can see our newsletters and sign up for those, or if you feel called to be a financial partner, you can sign up there as well. We are so close to being fully funded. Our outgoing fund is beyond fully funded, thanks to, in a large part, this church. And our monthly need is at 97%. So we're right there. So if some of you are like closers, you really like to finish jobs, now it's your time to shine. So that last 3% basically boils down to like $300 per month. So, and if we go over it, it's not like a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's still going to support MAF and all the work that we're doing, even if we're over that $9,000 a month. And then in the future, when it's likely, you guys have seen the price of eggs and milk and bread these days. When things go up, our support ends up going up as well. So if we're already over that monthly support, it'll just make it easier for us on furlough to get up to that number. Does that make sense? So that's all on our website. It's in our prayer card. Our emails are also on there, and never be like, we're not too busy to receive emails or text, phone calls from you guys and share about what we're doing specifically. We would love to to hear from you guys, but that's all there on the prayer card and on that website. Does that make sense, Amy?